guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is one that I've been super excited to film and to talk to you about because I think it's going to be so beneficial to you. This whole video is about sleep and tips to wake up early in the morning. Now, I've only been doing this for about a week and a half now, but honestly it is life-changing. So I either get up at 5:30 or 6 o'clock every single morning depending on what I'm doing that day. So for example, I had an exam today, so I got up at 6. I didn't get up at 5:30. The only reason I started doing this was due to watching 2 TED Talks. Now I am going to link them below for you because I think they're incredible and they're really beneficial in sleep information, why we need to sleep. And the most significant one to me was about a guy talking about getting up at 4:30 in the morning for 21 days. Before I go into the tips, I think I've got 5 tips for you that are going to be so helpful and it's going to change your life and you're going to love it. But I do want to talk to you a little bit about the hormones serotonin and melatonin. At the heart of any good night's sleep is the healthy balance of hormones. Now, more specifically, these are serotonin and melatonin, as I said to you before. Both of them have various functions inside our body, so mood, sleep and appetite, but more specifically serotonin is the happy hormone and melatonin is what we feel when we're going to sleep. Serotonin is what we call a neurotransmitter. It's basically responsible for sending messages between nerve cells and then producing responses. Whereas melatonin, I've done lots of research on this and it's basically a neurotransmitter-like substance. That's what a lot of articles were saying, so I'm going to go with that. One of its most important roles is actually regulating our body clocks. Now, when I was a swimmer, I used to get up at 4:30 to get to training in Manchester and my body clock was horrendous. Like when I wasn't training, I'd still be up at like 5:30, like wide awake. You can kind of say that serotonin and melatonin are opposites, but they need to work together to balance everything out in the body. As I said to you before, serotonin is the happy hormone and that's what I've always said to it. It gets released when you exercise, helps relax. It helps relaxation, it makes you feel energized. With sleep, when you wake up early in the morning, you want to get your curtains open as soon as you get out of bed, but I'm going to talk to you more about that later on the tips. The opposite end of the spectrum is melatonin, which is actually kind of like, it's like the darkness hormone. This is why people say to you, you shouldn't go on your phone before bed. You shouldn't have screens, TVs or anything like that because then you're still awake. You should be in a dark room, no electronic devices. Again, I'm going to speak to you about it after. But melatonin winds the body down to a lethargic state, so you're feeling tired and so you're getting ready to sleep. I'm going to go right in with my tips for you and then just bring in some other facts along the way. So the first tip I have for you is one that nobody can really make you do this except yourself, and it's having the motivation to get up in the morning and to get out of bed. I want to get up earlier purely because I can get 2.5 or 2 hours more in my day in the morning and I can have more time at night to myself. So obviously these are completely different for everyone and having these little specific goals can be so helpful to you. You need that, you need the drive to want to do it. You can't just force yourself. If you have a really bad perception, I think a lot of people have a really bad perception that getting up early is this really bad thing and people will be like, oh my god, why are you getting no sleep, why are you getting up at 5:30 in the morning? But you just go to sleep a bit earlier. It's not like you're losing out on sleep, you're just going about sleep in a different way than what people are used to. So the night before I'm getting up, I set myself goals and tasks to do that day. This is what I have. It's a little to-do list. It's so helpful because it sets out your day for you. Mine's actually really cringy today, but it was for my exam, so I made it a bit more extra. Now, having these little goals set out for the day the night before makes you want to get up and it makes you want to get ready, get going and get your day off to a good start. So tip number 2, have something to get you out of bed. Now mine is a black coffee. One day I'm going to invest in one of those machines that does your coffee for you at a certain time, so you can set it so you'll be able to smell the coffee brewing. But I literally think in bed when my alarm goes off that I get to soon have my coffee. Obviously if you don't like coffee, have a tea or something like that, but for me that's just one of those little kick me, get me out of bed things. Tip number 3, prepare yourself the night before. As I said, you can write down what your plans are for that day, you can write it in your diary or anything like that. But also, I always have my clothes for that day laid out on the floor. So if I'm doing an early gym session, I'll have my gym kit on the floor. If I'm just in chill clothes, it will be chill clothes. If I feel like it's gonna be really cold, my dressing gown will be there as well with my slippers. I also prepare my cafetiere with my coffee in. I have all my vitamins out ready for me to take, and I also have my book on the side that I read every single morning, which is the Daily Stoic. Having things laid out for you in the morning just makes the process of rolling out of bed easier. I know how difficult it is to get out of a super comfy bed in the morning and it's warm, and I fully know because my room in Manchester is freezing cold, and ooh, it gives me shivers. The thought of getting out of bed is difficult, but if you just have your clothes there, you know you can just like press the kettle and you can do your coffee, you will find it far easier to get out of bed. Tip number 4, and this is a fabulous tip that I've only applied in the last week, and it is incredible, and simply it is just to make your bed. The whole idea behind this is basically you get out of bed in the morning, and if you make your bed straight away, 1, it'll make you not want to get back into it, and 2, you feel good because you've done this one little task. So again, back to the serotonin, the happy hormone, you feel really good about yourself because you're like, oh, that's one little task out the way that I don't need to do. So it sets you off to a really good start to have a really good day. I got this whole idea from watching a Navy SEAL clip on YouTube, and again, I'm going to link it below for you. And he's basically saying that as soon as you make your bed, you've accomplished one thing of the day and you feel really proud of yourself, and it's like boom, done. Once you've done this one task, it'll then encourage you to do another task. So it might be, for me, might be to do some emails or go over some programming, and then it'll lead to more and more tasks, and by the end of the day you have realised you've actually done so much. Tip number 5 is get to bed early. I'm not saying like 8-9 o'clock. We're meant to wake up at sunrise and fall asleep at sunset. That's what our bodies are naturally meant to do, but obviously we have technology, we have everything like that is just in the way now. The easiest way to use the hormones that I was telling you about before is to simply boost your serotonin in the morning and increase your melatonin at night. I know it can all sound like really silly and really complex, but it is really, really easy to do. In terms of boosting your melatonin at night, which I said is the darkness hormone, dim your lights, have low lights, have some candles, avoid screens, laptops, phones specifically really close to your face. Sorry about that. For me, I always light candles. I must light at least 3 candles every day, throughout the day if I'm home, always at night. I don't really have any lights on except my side light and my desk lamp sometimes if I'm doing some work. Also, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know that I don't go on social media past 9 PM now, because I wasn't addicted to it, but you kind of are, like subconsciously you're like constantly, you just scroll on all social media platforms, and it's one of the best resolutions that I've ever made because I'm not missing out on anything, like nothing's happening, like it's fine, and I can wake up early and go through my phone then if I want to. I also read before I go to sleep as well, whether it's a couple of pages, whether it's an article that I've printed off, anything, but it's just trying my hardest not to go on my phone. So all about back the next day, when I said about opening your blinds, opening your curtains, you want to let as much light in as you can to boost your serotonin levels and energize yourself ready for your day. Even go on a morning walk. I've done this a couple of times, but actually at the moment it is still pretty dark because it's so cold outside. But obviously when it gets closer to summer, you can go on these little walks in the morning. I'm not going to overwhelm you with any more tips, and I really hope I've given you some that will change your perception on how you think of sleep and getting up early. And it's not a bad thing, it is a great thing. You just feel really energized, and honestly you will not feel tired by the time you get to 3 or 4 o'clock. I know people say you do, and like, oh my god, you're getting up so early, you're going to be so tired. You do not get tired later on. I don't know why. I think you're just so energized in the day. When it gets to around 8-9 o'clock, you do start getting sleepy, which is perfect though, because that's when you can start getting ready for bed. I go to bed about 10, half 10 now, and I get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock absolutely fine. Fingers crossed this has helped you. I really hope it has. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.